This is a little video about making sound books. You're going to start with your paper, the paper that you have that's left over from the metal insets, and you'll have a long strip along the left-hand side if you cut all the way down, and a short strip on the along the bottom. That short strip along the bottom is the perfect size. You just are going to take 3 of those and fold them in half and staple them. The strip that's along the side, you just cut in half and then you fold those in half and staple them, and it makes a great sound book. So for sound books, I'm going to, first of all, I'll use my grandson. His name is Liam, and the great thing is that everybody gets to keep their sound book forever. It's their book. So I'm going to create a title page. So I invite a child, would you like to make sound books with me? And then I will start with their name. So I'll say, Liam. This apostrophe S means that you own this book. This is your book. Liam's sound book. Liam's sound book. I always start with TSBMA, and I usually start with Would you like a moon or a mop? Moon, mop. They usually say moon, and I'll say moon. The first sound in moon is Let me draw a little moon. Put some stars. Moon. 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 All right. Let's do S. Would you like snake or sun? Snake. Draw a little snake. 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 The first sound in snake is S. I do draw it like an S to help them remember it. Snake. Okay, would you like a turtle or a top? Turtle. Let's do T. The first sound in turtle turtle is T. Turtle. Turtle. The first sound in turtle is T. Okay, let's do B. 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 Would you like a butterfly or a beach ball? Butterfly. B, b, butterfly. Butterfly. The first sound in butterfly is B. Now let's do ah. Ah. Would you like an apple or an axe? Apple or axe? Let's do apple. 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 The first sound in apple is ah. So I'm going to do today's date, which is 1/4/23. All right, this book is yours and you can have it. You can color it in too if you'd like. After you have your first sound book, and children may use these 5 letters for a while. If you find that someone can't remember the 5 letters after seeing this a few times, you're going to narrow it down to 2 letters that have different mouth sounds, like and ah. So one is closed and one is open. You want very different sounds. And you would just stick with the same objects and work through this and see if they made any progress there. If a child does not pick this up, I would say within the first 3 or 4 times of doing it, if they don't retain those sounds, that's a child that you're going to put on your radar to see if they're having memory and recall struggles. If they do acquire those sounds and can remember them, then you're going to start, the next step in this is to do it so that you write the sound and then they draw the picture. And the first time you're with them when they do that. But when you feel confident that they have recall over it, then you can fill it out and they can take it to a table somewhere and color it in. So then you would do the same thing. So I'm going to write Liam's. Do you remember what this means, this apostrophe S? Yes, that means you own this book. It's your book. Sound book. Liam's sound book. Here we go. This is Did you want to draw a moon or a mop? Moon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write moon. Moon. Now you can color it in. And first, this shows them the word. That's one reason. The second reason I write it out when I make the sound is so that anybody who sees this knows whatever they draw is this thing. Oftentimes, it might not look like this thing. So I'm just going to help the person who's looking at it with them. Like if they're showing their parents can see that this says moon, and then they have an idea of what that picture is in case the child doesn't remember. Sometimes they don't, that's fine. So I do the whole book like that. And when they have this, when I feel confident they can do this, then I'm going to do, which sound would you like to do? Would you like to do or t or whatever? You have them pick those 5 sounds. You write it out and then they tell you what they want to write. It might be this or it might be something else. You can say, can you think of another word that you'd like to draw that starts or begins with the sound And then they might say mug. You say, oh my goodness, mug. Let's do that. I'm going to write mug. Mug. Mug begins with and then they can draw it. Okay, so that you can do a whole book like that with TSBMA. And then once they have that, then you can just do any sounds, any of those in any order with any picture that they want. And so that would be how these would flow. When children have a strong grasp of TSBMA, then we are going to start to transition into, when they're ready, no rush, it can be this for a long time. Then I'm going to do 3-letter phonetic words with those sounds that I know they have. And remember, they are doing sandpaper letters, they're doing I Spy, all of that other stuff is happening as well alongside this. This is just reinforcement and adds visual cues. So I would do, now I'm going to do something different with you today, Liam. I know that you know those sounds, and I'm going to show you something really neat. I'm going to say Liam's. And now I'm going to say word. Liam's word book. We're going to take those sounds and make words. Let's see if we can work on this together. So the first one I'm going to do is at. notice how I keep my voice flat. If I go mat, they're going to hear the word mat. But if I get there, then I've read it. So you want them to get to mat so that you know that they've read it. So you just sound this out. Mat, mat. You're constantly looking at the paper, not the child, so they don't feel pressure. If it catches for them after you say it maybe 10 times, you say, oh my goodness, mat. You can draw a mat. If they don't, you can just say, this is mat. Mat. You can draw a mat. And then you just leave it there. And then after that, you go back to sound books if they don't get it. If they do get it, then you're going to change it up. You say, oh my goodness, mat. We sounded that out together. So now let's do another one. Let's do sat, 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 sat. If they say sat, you go, oh my goodness, we sounded out that word. You can draw sat. And they say, how do I draw sat? You say, I don't know. You could draw a person sitting down. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay. So if they don't get it, you've gone too far. Just go back to this. It's more important for them to have their sounds solidly than for them to be reading. This is secondary. And if they get it, then of course you can do other words that are 3-letter phonetic words with this, like bat, bat, etc., etc. And then after they have the 3-letter phonetic word series, so let's say you're doing Liam's word book another day, this child is way far along, they have their sounds, they can sound out 3-letter phonetic words either with this or with other sounds that they've been working on as well. Then when you do it, you're going to do something like this. So today, let me erase this so we can just use the same book. Today we're going to do something else. I'm going to show you a new thing. Watch this. Mat, sat, mat, sat, and help them sound that out. Then they can draw mat, sat. It doesn't matter that this double T is how you would spell the name Matt. It doesn't matter. You can do the same thing. So if they have, let's say that they've added in some other sounds. Let's remember that we're starting over with this. So I might do this. I might do k, at, s, at, k, at, k, at. They get that? And go s, at, cat, sat. Oh my goodness, we sounded that out. So you can do phonetic word phrases. And then after they have that, then you can do little like sentence books. Liam's sentence. This is new. Liam's sentence book. So I might do let's sound this out. And then it's going to be simple phonetic sentences here for all of these. And that's really the sequence. This goes along with what we know about dyslexia and how children who struggle with reading can better grasp the sounds by having a visual cue, which is not something that you get if you just play sound games. So this doesn't hurt anyone. Everyone loves these books. You will have children lining up to do them, which I am fine with, because then they're getting sound lessons for all of the sounds that everybody gets, which is fine with me. But sound books are kind of magical. So I use them every day, all the time, with all children at whatever developmental level they're at.